Welcome to the Krypton Report podcast with me, the Superman of Blue, Tyler, and James, the Superman of Red, and
Red.
Jamie,
Red.
and Laura,
Tell her Blue is hiding from her. And she has to come find her.
all over.
Yeah. It's been a busy day.
It has
It's been a
been.
busy weekend.
Mm-hmm. You said it.
Yeah. It's been a busy weekend.
Well, let's get into some things here. Do. All right. Got a few newsworthy and noteworthy
Wow, where is she?
items.
Yeah.
Let's bring it up here. Do. How's everybody doing out there? You guys doing okay? You know, James is doing okay.
Yeah, I'm doing okay. Got a tooth pulled last week, so that was lovely. Still dealing with some pain and stuff from that. Still,
Always pain.
Yeah. But got some stuff done outside yesterday and today. Got some vines taken down and cut into burnable lengths and stuff. So lots of progress. So
Awesome.
nice. Yeah. Didn't do as much inside the house, but it was a beautiful weekend. It was last I heard it was supposed to rain, but I think it rained overnight into Saturday, and then that was it. It stopped. Nothing else for the rest of the weekend.
Oh, you got it?
All right.
Yeah.
Go back there.
All right. So I went shopping the other day at like one of this local store, and I found these 4 loose figures. Thought I would share. It's a Superboy, Steel, a Doomsday, and then this Superman here. And what's weird is the Superman here is like, it looks like the Superman Returns S was painted on it, but the figure doesn't look like a Superman Returns figure.
Oh,
Weird.
no, absolutely not. Does not look like a Superman Returns figure, but those are some awesome figures. I like that. I like those 3, the Steel, Doomsday, and Superboy.
Right. I want to go back.
You'll have to
and
send
get
me
them.
individuals.
Yeah, I took the shot holding it. I was like trying to hurry, but so Easter just recently passed, not that long ago. But here are some shots of the shirts that the kids got for Easter. Some of the new Superman merchandise shirts here coming up. The Look Up. They each got one in their baskets. So this one's Solomon's. And then Selah got the Look Up one. So that was nice.
Yeah, that's cool. I like that.
It's like merchandise is slowly starting to sprinkle places. But I'm still waiting for just the giant drop of merch. But they've started putting merch online. Like, okay. So like here's the cover I was looking for last time of the Welcome to Metropolis officially novel inspired by the film. The prequel like junior novel that I pre-ordered here. So there's the cover of it. And I think that'll be cool because I'm going to get Solomon to read it. And I'm going to have Solomon read it and I'll read it. And I want to do like a book review. So that'll be part of an episode in the future.
Cool. That sounds awesome.
This is something like that could be neat. It's a step 3 book, but they might, Selah's kind of out of those. I mean, she can still read it, but that was kind of neat too.
Oh no, I gotta get that for Jamie and Laura coming up.
Exactly. So, and then there's this. I pre-ordered this just because the official activity book with over 50 stickers and posters. Yeah.
Tyler got to get his Superman stickers.
Heck yeah, I got a whole bunch of Superman stickers I ordered, but I need these Superman stickers.
No, that's awesome. If I see one, I'd pick it up. I have to look for it though.
And then like here's like it pulled like this character intrigues me. Because some people are saying now what if it's Parasite? So I'm just like, okay, I don't want to know, but like these are on sale now on Amazon. So are some boxers that the model is they definitely were showing something up with that model. But yeah, these pants are on sale. I used to have some of these blue, like with the symbol all over it of just the classic symbol.
Right.
So, but I might get
Oh,
another
dude.
pair.
Yeah, I'd sport those. I like the blue ones better, the lighter blue one, not the darker one.
So you get these right here, and I'll get these right here.
Yeah, there we go. Don't need to
That way,
be all fancies.
when you come to visit, we'll just hang out in our PJs. And I don't know if we saw this. This is like some plushies that are coming. I like the Superman, but I definitely want to get the Crypto. Just Sailor likes collecting plushies.
Yeah,
So,
Alora loves plushies. She would love to have a Superman and a Crypto plushie.
now this is interesting. Okay, so this is the '90s flashback official coloring book from DC. I'm just kind of like the mullet. Like, I mean, look at the cover right here. Is Clark with the long hair. Like, I really want to see. I want to see this book. Like, well, I don't know if I would buy it, but I want to see it.
No, I'd color it. I would absolutely get some colored pencils and color the hell out of that thing.
I love coloring. I have some of those comic book, like adult coloring books, because a lot of them, man, they put in at Ollie's, and I
They
found
do. Yeah, they do.
I found Batgirl, Wonder Woman, at Ollie's on those. So if you have an Ollie's, check it out. Speaking of merchandise, okay, so I have not seen any of these in store, and going to our local Walmart because there's not a Target for like 40 minutes away from me. A while back, I got an email to watch like a rough cartoon from WB that they were working on, and it was what these toys are. But I found these on Amazon, and I've yet to see these in store. They're the Metal Force, and here's like a Brainiac Lex, the small Batman. It's Brainiac and Batman. Then here's the large Batman.
It's like the Hellbat suit, but they wouldn't call it that.
And then here's the Metal Force Superman. And I don't know if like they just decided not to do the cartoon, because I think it was going to be like one of those like cartoons that come directly on like YouTube or something like that, on the DC Kids YouTube or something. But I've never seen any of these in store, and I haven't seen any DC toys much in store at all. Like I haven't found any McFarlane's at Walmart in a while. They have a few Batman things, but it's like they're pulling, like, I don't even see the Spin Master Batman stuff as much. I don't know. It disturbs me.
Wow. That sounds terrible.
And like I said, I haven't been to Target, but I want to get to Target. But
Yeah,
here's some.
I haven't been to a Target and a Walmart in a few months, so I haven't seen any, and they don't really have too many at like Myers.
Dude, I love Myers. I wish like we have
So
one.
they just don't really have like McFarlane's there, you know. They just don't,
Yep.
and that's kind of sad. But
Yeah, I don't like ordering everything online. Okay, and they close, like there used to be 2 GameStops, like depending on which direction I went, like they're both like 10 minutes away. They closed one of them, which sucks. Because they would both carry different stuff. So like they'd have a different selection at each one. But here is a art image of the Look Up, which I like.
yeah,
Here, Superman and Crypto.
that's a little overly drawn.
Yeah.
The detail on him through that suit in particular.
Yeah. Now these are official release promo art on stuff. Here's Crypto. And then here's a Superman and Crypto. So I thought those were cool.
Yeah, those cryptos look very much like kid cartoon cryptos. Like they're ready to open their mouth, like with Paw Patrol or something.
That's what we need. Paw Patrol with Crypto and the Super Pets.
Absolutely. They absolutely have to do a League of Super Pets animated show.
They should, especially if like Crypto spawns out of this. Crap, I totally forgot. Oh, I was gonna say the DC Showcase podcast actually did an episode I just listened to where they interviewed the actors who will play Jimmy Olsen, Cat Grant, and Steve Lombard. So that was pretty cool. It was after that show's getting better and better. It was after their Superman Day episode. So check that out. And also the DC, what is it called? Because it's got a interesting name. Hold on. It's DC's like powerhouse or something. Hold on. I was listening to it. Because I showed Jania. It's like high volume DC. It's DC's high volume Batman. It was the podcast we talked about a little bit ago, but the first 4 episodes are year 1, and they just dropped episode 5, which is the start of the Long Halloween.
Yeah,
And it's really, I really enjoy listening to this. I'm curious how they're gonna I'm curious how it's gonna end. Like how the Long Halloween will end. If it'll end similar like to the book where it's a little bit more vague, or if it'll end like
are they adaptations or are they just like scripted readings?
I mean, they're like productions. So
Okay. Yeah, well, that's kind of what I mean, like a scripted production, but like direct adaptation.
It's been a while since I've read year 1. Like I've seen the movie and stuff, so like I listened to year 1 and it seemed pretty close. The first part of the Long Halloween, it's been a little while since I've read the first issue of the Long Halloween because I was planning to reread the Long Halloween when they released the last issue of the last Halloween. I just kind of wanted to sit down and read the Long Halloween, Dark Victory, and the last Halloween together. So I can't really comment because I don't remember all the details enough from the book because I did rewatch the film last year.
Right.
So I just can't remember like all the book details. I'll have to go check it out.
I was just curious. You know, that just means I gotta put them at the top of my list. I followed it and I really have wanted to give it a listen, but I was listening to a podcast running through the whole Alien and Predator series. The last couple of days, whenever I've had the chance, the last few days, whenever I had the chance to listen to something. So, but I'll have to bump that up next and listen to those and see how it sounds. Because I really like those books. They're really good stories. And from the preview, from the bit of trailer audio that I heard, you know, like you said, it's a production.
Yeah, it's awesome. I really enjoyed it. And then the last few things here are more movie related. Like this was I forgot to share this on Superman Day. Here's a shot of the whole cast and crew, just well, not crew, but the cast wearing Superman t-shirts. I love how like David Cornsweet is always kind of like in the back because he's so tall. But he's always like the most chill, like non like attention seeking one out of all of them.
Right.
And I also think, well, Perry White's not here. What the heck?
That's very much how Henry Cavill was too. You know, just like unassuming, and just very nice, quiet, very nice.
I just find it interesting, like so many of these characters we haven't even seen in the trailer or anything yet. So it's just interesting. But that's a cool photo, and of course James Gunn's there. Like he makes sure that he's prominent, you know.
Absolutely. I mean, he's the head, you know. He's the face now, especially launching it off with Superman. The way he is, I mean, come on, he's got to do it. You know what I mean? He's got to be right front and center.
He put himself in Harley Quinn and then put himself like in the credits of Creature Commandos. So come on.
Yeah.
This is interesting. So a federal judge on the Thursday dismissed Superman co-creators' estate and their bid to reclaim the foreign copyright, blocking the new film, citing lack of jurisdiction. Superman will release in Canada, the UK, Ireland, and Australia without issues. So, yay. It'll get a wider release. That's to our friends in the UK, Ireland, and Australia, which is crazy. Like,
I know Canada,
we have
UK, Ireland, and Australia. Those seem to be pretty big, like pretty decent markets. I mean, it's
But I'm
not
just
necessarily
thinking
just
like,
China, but that's a pretty decent chunk. That's a pretty large market.
well, I'm just saying like we have, the aspiring Kryptonian and Luke Bug in the UK. We have
Absolutely.
the all-star super fans, Rob from Ireland, who we just podcast with Rob a little bit ago.
Right.
And and then Australia, we have Nate and we have Connor.
Right.
It's like, guys, we're so relieved now.
Yep, from the Superman animated and Last Sons of Krypton.
Yeah.
LSK.
And then look at this. Japan has already started selling tickets.
Awesome.
So I'm like, man, okay. I figure we'll probably get another trailer like here in
pre-order
May.
tickets for sure.
We'll get a trailer here in May that'll be like tickets now on sale. And then so now we're gonna jump to a different film that's attached, but a little bit better look at the Supergirl symbol. I like that it's the same design of the symbol, but the color is a little different. Because I just feel like the Supergirl set.
Oh, really? Oh, that looks
Yeah.
like the back of a chair or something. Maybe,
It is. It's from the back of her chair.
Nice.
So that's the symbol that we're seeing.
That is kind of cool. It is the way it looks. It's got the Melissa Benoist blue background with the red S on it and the yellow outline, but it's got the current symbol.
Which, I think that's how it should be. Like, it should be the same basic symbol with a little bit of difference. Because, I mean, like, when you see the Superman symbol, technically it is the Supergirl symbol too. But, like, here, man, it's not as big as I hoped. That's what she said. I liked the way that they did this on Supergirl on the show. Like, the way they did the symbol with the gold trim, it's had the blue of just there. Because it gave her a little bit of her own symbol and not just being the exact same. Because, you always see stuff and it's like, oh, it's Supergirl. They put it in pink, but Supergirl never wore pink. So it's like when you wear the Superman symbol, you're also wearing the Supergirl symbol because it's the family. But I like having a little bit of a difference. Like, kind of like how
and I always liked how they really did Melissa's over the years.
Yes. It's like how they did a little bit of the difference on the Sasha Kaye Supergirl symbol, even though it was very similar to Cavill's.
Yeah.
Just it had a little bit difference to it. So I thought that was cool just to kind of say, oh, this is her. So we have that. And then this was posted. Our Zor-El here. I like to think of him more as Bernard. He's always my Bernard here.
He's Mr. Universe. Get it right. No, Bernard's cool too.
He officially wrapped his filming. So, and my thing is, this is our Zor-El. So who do they cast as Jor-El to look like his brother? Like, I want to see those two interact. So he has wrapped his filming. He posted online. And then the last little thing I wanted to bring up, if you haven't seen Millie act in anything, if you haven't watched House of Dragons, Millie Alcock is in an upcoming Netflix limited series Sirens, which is premiering May 22nd on Netflix. So that's all I know about that, but it could be something that you could just check out to see her acting because, her House of Dragons role, and she's relatively young in it and everything. Just because of how long it takes for all that to process and go through. So that would be something to just kind of get a sense of their acting, But that's all the news and little things I've been able to pull together from here and there. But let's get into
it's good. It's a good time to be a DC fan.
It is.
We just had Harley Quinn wrap up not too long ago. We're getting a bunch of news different things, and we are under 3 months away.
It's I just want to be hopeful. Like people like I'm tired online of like people crapping on um the new era and just complaining, and I'm over it. Um I'm just really want to be excited and enjoy and embrace, like at least it feels like Gunn is, if Man of Steel, okay, let's just look at Man of Steel real quick in a vacuum, was like trying to do to Superman what had been done in Batman Begins. Basically, that's what it was.
Yeah, it was almost like Superman Begins. Yeah.
And it was getting that type of treatment. It's now we're leaning back into the comics a little harder and trying to bring more of that to life. And I mean, if we think about, okay, even doing the math of 2017 to 2025, okay, just doing that math is how many years, James? Put you on the spot for a reason.
2017
Yep.
to 2025. That's
Yep.
8.
Okay. See, 8 years, right? Now I
Yeah.
want you to do another little math equation for me of 1997 to 2005.
8.
Ah, 8 years. Okay. So here we go. 2017 is the last time we saw Superman on the big screen officially. Like, yes, he had the little part in Black Adam, but not everybody stayed, for the post-credit scene. Not everyone saw Black Adam, but just proper Superman on the big screen. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
We're not counting the Snyder cut because that was released on HBO Max. We're talking to general audiences. The last movie that Superman was in 2017. That would be 8 years ago. 1997 was Batman and Robin. 2005 was Batman Begins.
Nice.
And that's an 8-year difference. So think about that for a second. Okay. Also think about this, 2008 to 2016. What's that, James?
8 years.
And that's between Ledger and Leto of Joker on screen. So,
Yeah.
I mean, it just, when we think about when I think about the 97 to the 2005, just because of our ages and all the growing up we did, seems a lot longer compared to the 2017 to the 2025.
Right.
Even though I look at my daughter and that's, she was born in 2017 and where she is now. So, I mean, that's just something to think about, like, that this is a new Superman. This is a new era. This is a new birth. And for some people, it might seem like, oh, it hasn't been that long. But for some people, yeah, it's been long enough to bring in this new time.
Yeah. It honestly, I mean, it has. And, we always talk about being hopeful and moving forward. No matter how badly we want to see some other things to have come to fruition, but James Gunn is more on than he's off. He's more hit than he's miss, and this, from the little bit that we've seen, it looks pretty good. And
I was talking with our pal Levi, okay, and we were chatting, and what we brought up was how I'm really excited for this movie and I'm really hopeful for it, but I there's something I really want from this movie. And we were talking about how every Superman movie I like, but there's always something in it that I'm kind of just like, I didn't like that, or that could have been better, or something. So there's never one that I go away completely loving like I want to. Like, I like Man of Steel. I enjoy it, but there's parts I'm just like, I like Superman the movie, but then there's a part where it gets to where I'm just kind of like, now I feel like I'm in something else, and I feel a little like toward, like I get dropped out of it. But with Batman films, there's no Batman film I'm like, like, what I'm saying? Like, we can make arguments for Batman and Robin and whatever, but as a whole, like every one of them has, there's not much that come out, and maybe I'm not as invested in them, even though Batman's my second favorite, um, as much as I am with Superman. But there's just that writing on this film that maybe will come around like that was Superman. That had everything I wanted. It represented the character, and that's going to be like we have. So in May, okay, we're going to be doing a YouTube special where we're going to rank Superman movies. And I have like a list of 20 some Superman movies, okay, including live action and animated. And it's going to be interesting because I threw the 2025 in there and asked that you put it where you think it will fall, where you think how you feel right now, you think it will fall in your hierarchy of Superman films. And then when after the film comes out, we'll of course jump back, and say, where did you actually put it? So it'll be interesting.
Right. It'll be interesting jumping into something like that with only the little bit here, and then what, like you talk about Man of Steel, and I mean, I still feel like that's probably going to be my number one coming out of this. But some of the things that I've seen in this are really great, because when Man of Steel came out, and it'll be interesting to get into it just a little bit with some other people about it, but would be when Man of Steel came out, we were in that kind of building this shared universe, this episodic chapter storytelling that we wanted to see, and that's kind of what they were doing with him. Whether the decisions were made farther on, we're only talking about Man of Steel, so this was only a chapter one where he was just being Superman by the end. I mean, officially, because he was that the entire movie. He was saving people left and right, but still, it's the mindset of seeing that movie at that time as well.
Yeah. I mean,
as to what we were expecting to see. We're not talking about anything else. Like for just saying that movie versus that movie. You know what I mean? Not like what the rest of it becomes. It's just what we were looking into seeing that movie, and what we see, because like you said, we're only by then we might have another trailer, but
yeah.
So we'll see how much more we get to see.
And and we'll get there. We'll talk more on that Man of Steel when we get there next month.
Oh yeah, I just wanted to get my toe.
He's like, I just want to say what I have to say. Let me say my piece, Tyler. But let's talk some Superboy. It's that time for some Superboy. We are diving into season 3. With the Bureau.
The Adventures of Superboy.
The Adventures of Superboy. How are you feeling so far?
It definitely looks like a show that is the adventures of such and such character. It looks and feels that way. The Bureau, we had an interesting few episodes. I got to watch the next 3. And yeah, it's I'm enjoying it, honestly. I mean, it when I was first watching into season 2, I wasn't like as invested. I couldn't it wasn't catching my interest as much. And then we did season 1, and that was pretty good. By the time we got to the end of season 2, I was there. I was feeling it. I was watching it. Then watch season 1. It's just kind of the way we went about it. But
there's a whole explanation. Go back to our past episodes of why it went out of order.
Yeah. And then season 3, it just, like I said, it feels like that. I swear, it just feels like something I'd be watching on an early Saturday afternoon, on the weekend, a syndicated TV show.
Yeah. Oh no, I completely understand.
The last 3 episodes, though, the last 3 episodes that we watched here, the first one was kind of But there
Yeah,
was some
okay.
really funny bits about that one that I
Hold on,
love that I
hold on.
want to get into, and then
All right,
the next one was a two-parter, and that was really fun too. So
So season 3, episode 4, titled Nelia, a superhuman woman arrives from an alien world in search of a husband, causing destruction in her wake. To stop her, Superboy must pass her romantic test, all while teaching her the true meaning of love.
Maxima was around before then, wasn't she?
Yes, I was like, and I wanted to see if there was anything in this that really was why they did not do Maxima. You know, why they had to create this character. I don't know if was it because they didn't have the rights, but they had the rights to
Awesome,
do
though.
like, but you know what I'm saying? It's like, how do you not have the rights to Maxima but have the rights to
Yeah, Maxima was created in 1986.
yeah, I know because I recently read for Electric Mullet when she appeared.
There you go.
So why are you not, you know, uh, using her? But let's see here. Just any fun. But yeah, talk about this episode. You were talking about you had some fun things to say.
Oh, the actress playing Neela, not like okay. That outfit and that hair was something, man.
Yeah.
Oh, oh man. That freaking bleach blonde wig that she wore,
Mm-hmm.
it was nuts. And honestly, the way her the way the suit was, the front of it, it almost looked like a stone piece or like a damaged armor piece, but it
Mm-hmm.
was like cut in with abs and stuff, and then just all leather. And then I thought she killed that guy. The first guy, she threw him off like a third story fire escape.
Can we just like touch on how we talked about this when we did Supergirl the movie? How every time like a female that of some degree of attraction shows up on Earth, like the first men she meets are like bottom of the barrel, like drunk, toxic, masculine, pervert men.
Yeah, yeah, that's what he
Like,
was. I mean, he
like
got
I mean,
everything he deserved, but
yeah, it's just like that's always the first one, and it just shows like it's just like, is that what all dudes are supposed to be? Like, ta-da! Like, this is what dudes are.
I mean, that's not something I'm aware of, but that is
Yeah,
something
I
that
know.
is like that doesn't that's not something that I ever would would
Exactly.
act like towards somebody, but I
Exactly.
mean,
It's,
from everything that we hear, I think that is a widely at least worried about and possible occurrence in everyday life. So, which is which is really sad. And
yes,
be freaking better. Like
that's our
it's
message to
not
men.
really that goddamn hard. Like seriously.
Yeah, that's our message to men.
Yeah, be better.
Now, when she like looks like herself with her natural like brown hair, it's a very stark difference look. But when she like is in disguise as like a
Yeah.
normal person,
I mean, when I first saw that wig, I was like, well, that is a hell of a wig. And then she did change herself and dress down and her wig came off. And I was like, okay, like like that was hardcore wig. I was like, she looks good with her natural hair like that. I mean, I don't know if it's her natural hair color, but pretty, but she looked good like that. I was like,
what about her and Superboy like battling like the Neanderthal?
Um, well, man, the time that they spent together on screen was kind of rough.
Mm-hmm.
I don't expect them to have chemistry. That's not what that's about. But you know, just the way that he, I don't know. It looked very contentious. I guess that's the way. But it just was like,
It looks like she
well,
returns in
difficult to watch.
another episode in the future, so we'll get her back.
Oh, okay. Well, we'll see. You know, 20
Woohoo!
minutes on screen with somebody in a short episode like this is not the best judge. The best thing
Because
to judge.
I just saw something and I was like, I don't remember that in the episode, and I was doing a little bit of digging. I was like, she
Ah, okay.
returns.
Interesting.
So
I would be interested in seeing how she plays it again. You know,
mhm.
after leaving Earth with a little bit of a less a toned down, you know, that people who aren't her and Superboy aren't like these incredibly superior beings, you know,
Mhm.
that everybody has their worth.
Yeah, it is true. All right, and then so like the big climactic part was she pushes Lana off a building, or she has Lana, and Lana's basically jumps off herself. It was like a
Yeah, I was
sacrifice
gonna say Lana jumped off. Yeah.
and Superboy, saves her, and it's basically to prove a point about the feebleness, quote unquote, uh, what do you call it, of humans, and how she just looks down, and then she just flies off into space. So, yeah,
Yeah, like all of her powers were just flashes of light off screen. Did you
I
notice
mean,
that?
yes, that's how you do low budgets. Like Janine and I were watching a movie the other day, and I was like, you can kind of tell when things are like indie
Hmm.
and they have to manage the budget is because things happen off screen and they just use audio to convey it and then show you the aftermath.
Yeah.
And that's really where we were with this. Um, but all right, so the next
They
grouping
cut
of
away. They cut away on her a lot for that in this
mhm.
episode.
The next episode, okay, is some of the highest rated. It's The Road Not Taken, Part 1 and Part 2. And I'll give you the breakdown of the first episode. An anonymous letter leads Superboy to Darla's hideout, where she has Lana locked in a meat locker. She's holding Lana to blackmail Superboy, so he'll bring Luther back through a portal created by Dr. Winger that took him to an alternate world. The alternate world is dark and chaos has erupted as a result of Luther's murder by an alternate Superboy. As Superboy tries to return Luther, he and an alternate Dr. Winger attack with him with kryptonite. Dum dum dum. All right, part 1. It aired November 3rd, 1990. All right, James, what you thinking?
I'm thinking Sliders.
Okay, I thought of sliders too, because I was going to bring up like one thing with sliders. Okay, that got
Yeah,
me the first season when they had a budget. It's
right.
like they were sliding to different worlds, and you're like, oh man, this is so cool, so cool. And then what happens is their budget gets cut, and then they start sliding to the exact same location, just redressed differently. They're like,
Yeah.
oh, we're just going to use this exact same backlot. Every time they arrive, it'll be here. We just can't afford to actually change the location. We'll just redress it.
Pretty much.
So
Pretty much. I really enjoyed that show when I was younger, and I can still really watch season 1. Season 1 is actually really good.
yeah,
Um,
it's a good show.
it is.
But I don't think Sherman Howard gets as much love and praise for his portrayal of Lex as he should. So
He stretched his legs a little bit in this one with the different versions of Lex.
yeah,
That was pretty good. But his madness in the end, which, sorry, skipping ahead, is just what kind of always pulls me back. Every time he does that weird screaming or just craziness, it's like sometimes like, what are you doing?
yeah, but I once again have to look at, we are now, when this show is coming, it's technically post crisis, but we haven't adapted that into live action yet. So this is still kind of a version of a pre-crisis Lex. So it's very interesting. But the first part of this episode it's okay. Like, it's the second part that is the big one. That is where we get to the Roads Not Taken part 2, where Superboy jumps through the portal to escape the kryptonite assault. In this world, he is the Sovereign, a dictator that rules using fear tactics. Lana and Luthor are lovers in this world, are leading a revolution to overthrow the Sovereign. Lana arms herself with kryptonite bomb, killing them both. The first alternate Superboy rescues the original Superboy from the kryptonite-laden shockwave. Then, when all is done, Superboy destroys the portal. All right.
So yeah, as 2 parts, before we get into that, I know I kind of skipped ahead and just like dragged you forward into part 2,
Nah, it's okay.
without talking about part 1, but we can talk about it as a whole. The when Superboy showed up on the first Earth, it was like an Ultraman reveal, but he had to come in like looking like Cobra or just some 80s biker dude, you know?
Yeah. Yeah. What's interesting is I almost wish that this was just the only Earth they went to, and the 2
Okay.
parts were this story. Because I really feel like the Sovereign here is where the story is.
Yeah.
Seeing, like, I don't really feel like there's much we get from the other side. And I really feel like we should have stayed with this a lot more and just really let this play out longer to see more of this good-natured Lex. Because when this good-natured Lex, sadly at the end when he dies, he's in Superboy's arms and he's like, are there other Lex Luthors out there? Are they good?
Mm,
And Superboy pretty much lies and says, yeah.
yeah.
I mean, it could be a lie. It couldn't be, because he's not been to every place out there, and that's kind of a loophole.
Right.
But I
Well,
kind of would have liked to have gotten to know this Lana and this Lex more, and actually seen more of the Sovereign, more of what he's doing to people.
gotcha. Yeah. Well, I mean, as you did put it before, the budget of the show, being a lot of stuff being off screen and things like that, it's really just, it can only be a presence, the things that he could potentially be doing to oppress the people and stuff
Mm-hmm.
like that. It's mostly like an omnipresence kind of thing. With this 2-part episode, though, it is interesting how, and they didn't really lean into it that much, but how on the 2 different Earths that he travels to, uh, he he's bad on those Earths, or there's versions of him that are evil on those Earths. Uh, the first one killed Lex Luthor on that world,
Mm-hmm.
and like there was a lot of things wrong. There was a lot of homelessness. Lana was homeless. Lex was he doing? Running for president or something?
And you brought this up.
And
What does this story predate?
part 2, the Sovereign, it really is reminiscent of like a Red Sun.
And yes, it is. And Red
Like
Sun.
like a dictator, authoritarian Superman.
And Red Sun had not even been created yet.
Yep. And that was how that one worked in the Sovereign. He was very much an authoritarian dictator over everyone. But it had a Smallville Clark Luthor vibe to it, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Somebody else who found him when he crashed on Earth. So those were two kind of cool things that I kind of pulled out of this just from over the years, kind of similarities.
Now I am going to pull out something that somebody put that I thought was interesting, because I had not thought of this, because I just really wasn't thinking of just like the continuity. Okay. All right. And this is what the person put was basically the Lex Luthor that we meet, okay, on these other Earths are Sherman Howard. But basically, based on continuity, Sherman Howard is Scott Wells with plastic surgery to look like Warren Eckworth, and then had his vocal cords damaged. So the alternate Lexes should have been Scott Wells.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm like, yes, that is true. But I bet nobody would have thought of that and even cared. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yep.
But I thought that was funny.
It's not like just drawing the same person, you know.
Yeah. Like,
when you talk about the multiverse.
So, but I like I said, I do enjoy Sherman Howard, and
and we only got to see him as the good one, you know. I mean, we saw him as the prime Superboy Lex Luthor, and he was the one who was replaced the one that was murdered on the biker Superboy world, and then the Sovereign world, he was a good guy. And he did a good job on that one. I did really like him on that one. And you know, the way that he did, he was trying to take down Superboy, trying to take down the Sovereign, and then they talked about the other Earths theories, and how Lana came in and said that he could have killed me, that it's not Sovereign, and he let me go.
It like I said, I just wish that the Sovereign had been the two arcs, or something more. I just felt there was more.
I do feel I think the thing that I kind of trailed off on my point was just the fact that he goes to two Earths and both of them are evil, you know, and that's something that they didn't really like do anything with, except both of them are like evil versions of Superboy, and it's a easy to see how he could easily go down a dark path with his powers and with in the wrong environment.
It's definitely a good, counterpoint. That means we see pretty much an evil version of every Superman. That's pretty much. So it's a trope, especially in television. If you're going to go, multiple seasons, you got to do the alternate Earth evil version of yourself.
Pretty much.
So, but okay. Well, that's the show for today. Check out me and James next time. And remember,